And welcome to another episode of the HopCast.
Thanks for coming back, everybody.
I'm Brad Chmielewski.
My name is Ken Hunnemeter.
And today we're drinking some beers from the brewery. Not just any brewery,
The brewery. And drinking some big beers from the brewery. And we've been drinking already, so this might be the nail in the coffin, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't get much bigger than brewery beers. Like, they're always... They're
pushing the, 15 to 20% barrier a lot of the times.
Where BrewDog is just stupid big.
Yeah.
Their beers are...
This is realistic big.
Yeah.
Whereas the other stuff is stupid big.
Yeah. This is actually beer big. I think once you're over 20%, it's kind of like, nah.
All right.
That's
enough already. But yes, so we're going to do, and these are both barrel-aged beers from the brewery. And one of which we received from a friend of ours.
Right, from New Brew Thursday. Shut up! Back in 2010. So these both have been in my cellar for a little while, and we both have been on a kick to drink these beers in our cellar. We've had them for too long. We have too many beers. We gotta drink our cellar. Find
an excuse, and this is a perfect excuse.
Right.
So we have the Melange 3 and the Cuir, or however you say that.
Right. So the Melange 3 is a blend of their three big beers back in 2010, which was the Black Tuesday, their anniversary beer, and the White Oak Sap. Which I don't know if I've had the White Oak Sap.
No, I haven't had that either. It must more locally distributed or how what have you. But I've had the Cuir before.
Right. I think there are different versions of that beer though, blended.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the 25% bourbon barrel version. I think there's a whiskey version. I think there's a oak version.
Okay. So this is 75% ale, 25 ale aged in bourbon barrels. So it's a blend.
I think it's that beer. I know they have another beer where they do the same thing. So it could have been that one, but anywho.
So we could basically pick whichever. I don't even know which one to start with. It doesn't really matter,
right,
I suppose.
14.5, 15.5. But this is
I always bet on black.
All right. I'm going on black. Both waxed, and we'll see how they held up.
And we'll see if I can open it with my keychain.
There was a lot of wax to get through on that.
Yeah, I had to dig through. You have a little bit of a casualty and found some wax in your glass. Brad started bleeding.
It was tough. I had to get in there. But it was still carbonated. When you pop the top, we got a little...
Yeah, so all systems go.
And a lot of, the good amount of bubbles in there. Nice head.
Yeah, kind of a, dark brown sugary type of thing. Seems like it's very viscous. Mm-hmm. A lot of residual sugar left over based on the pour itself. When you pour it out and those bubbles fight to get back to the top, and however much sugar is left in the liquid will determine how fast they get back up to the surface.
Yeah, okay.
They were very slow.
They're drunk. They're drunk bubbles, basically.
They are drunk.
And this is an old ale, right? So
it is partially aged in barrels.
Yeah.
So
it. I'm trying to see. I'm not getting. Are you getting cardboard or anything aged in that?
No, not at all.
I'm just getting that old ale aroma that sometimes just makes you think that it's old. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no apparent sign of infection, or at least on the oxidation side, based on the aroma. It just kind of smells like a muted, dark fruit type of thing.
Well,
but smells kind of cellared,
Let's see if this is going to warm us up.
Yeah, it's a little chilly out here.
Oh yeah, a lot of dark fruit.
Yes.
Raisin, prune,
fig.
Yeah.
And a lot of residual sugar. This is a sweet beer.
Yeah, you only need a little taste of this beer.
Yeah, I think it's, for a beer that's pushing 15% in pretty good balance. You probably don't need a lot of it.
Right.
So we'll be sharing this for sure. And that's kind of the intent when you make a beer like this is. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna grab this. Oh, I'll see you guys later.
All right. Yeah, we'll see you later tomorrow.
Yeah. And you'll be like 50 pounds heavier.
But it held up to the age of probably at least a year. It's 2011's anniversary ale. I don't know if that means November or if it means January of 2011. I'm not sure when they started. But it's at least 6 months to a year in the cellar, and it's still tasting pretty good, and I think it's maybe mellowed out a little bit from what it was.
Yeah, the last time I had this beer, it was way hotter than this is. This is much more tame, and the fact that I'm calling this beer tame right now is pretty crazy. But yeah, it's definitely benefited from some age. They claim on the bottle that you can age this for a decade or so. How much stock I put into that, I don't know. But
as we know that, most beers are meant to be brewed or consumed fresh.
Yes.
Where I think the brewery, a lot of their beers, I think they're expecting you to age them.
Yeah, and it's one of the brewery hasn't even been around for 10 years, so
how do they
know
that? Yeah.
Sometimes I think what happens is people just put an alcohol stamp on it and be like, oh, this percentage alcohol, it can go for this long. I'm sure it can. Whether or not it's going to be that good, I don't know.
Right.
And no one knows unless you do it.
Right, and are you keeping it perfect at 55 cellar degree temperature for 10 years, and then at that rate, that bottle costs you, to keep your cellar cool, it's like a $100 bottle of beer, right?
Yeah.
In 10 years.
If you want to get all analytical about it, sure.
So, yeah.
Good beer nonetheless, though.
I think, if you have one, crack it open, because it's tasting good. At least 4 beers deep for us.
Yeah, it's I'll stress it again, that the fact that the alcohol percentage is so high, and it's in a nice balance. There's nothing objectionable about it. No off flavors. It's just a nice beer that's going to be a sipper. It's meant to be, have a few people over and crack your bottle open, because you ain't taking one of these down by yourself.
Well, let's sip on this, and then we'll play red next and see how that treats us. That was a sipper. That was... I can feel it.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty warm.
Heavy hit, for sure. I don't know if I can survive this next bottle.
Right, we're taking it up a little more. This beer has Black Tuesday in it, White Sap, their anniversary beer.
Yep.
So it's a big beer. But it's also a little older, so it could be past its prime. So it might not even be worth our time.
Oh, I'm sure it is. We'll find out right now.
Alright, that took some time to get through. I think you're wounded now, right?
Yeah, I got some battle scars, and by opening these beers, we figured out that they actually double dip these beers. We saw the 2 different layers of wax. Why gotta be trying to make the beer so hard to get into, man?
I just want to drink this shit. And
I've been drinking already. Don't you know that?
And, yeah, you think someone's just going to smash it on the side, like, just let me in your beer. And the time that goes into it, we know friends dip the Dark Lords. That takes, like,
a lot of time.
3 or 4 days to dip however many thousands, so to double dip.
Yeah, I mean, the sun set before we, we got that bottle open. But that's
Day 3. We've gotten into the bottle.
I mean, straight off, like, we kind of spilled a little bit of the bottle because I kind of cracked it open and it just spilled all over my pants. And now I can immediately smell whiskey straight from my pants.
So no driving for you tonight.
I'm Mr. Whiskey Pants. It's my new Twitter handle.
At Mr. Whiskey Pants.
We're drunk.
Well, and there was still carbonation in this. It had the...
Yep.
We got the little bit. Less than the previous beer.
Yeah, but seriously, I mean, the whiskey coming off this glass is intense. A little murky in the appearance, but a lot of whiskey coming out of the aroma.
And I'm going in. Huh.
Very raisin forward.
Yeah, you're hit with that raisin, like, hard.
Very hard. Not much of the Black Tuesday, you would think, because you're not getting a lot of roast character. It's more of like that caramel, dark fruit, raisin stuff. But this is a big beer. Holy shit.
Right, at this point, it's just tasting sweet, a little roast, and, like, dark fruit. I think it's lost something in the 2 years. So.
Have you had this beer before?
Yeah, we had it on tap at Small Bar. Shut
up! Hey, Phil.
And when during CBC was here in 2010, so they had it on tap there, and at the time I remember it being really good, but I also remember being like, this is a big beer. I don't need this at, it was probably like 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Like, I need.
I'd been drinking since 11, and it was
right. And I have other drinking to do. This is a beer where you're like, this is the only beer I'm having today.
Yeah. So we failed on that front. Damn it. This is our like 4th episode, and we're going out for a birthday party later, which is that's
so
gonna be
it's gonna
fun.
be a great birthday for the other
for us.
For us, yeah, not for them.
That guy's gonna be pissed.
Yeah. So I think if you still have this beer lying around, definitely pop it open, because you're not helping right now, right?
I mean, I don't know. I could go maybe another year, because there's no sign of infection, oxidation.
Right. But it doesn't
and
have.
It is a little hot.
A little bit,
like
but not.
The burn on the back of the throat. It's not an initial burn, but like, I think you're right. Because that's not going to go away. It's it's 15%. So after it goes down, it is going to tingle a little bit.
Right,
but it's not a perceived heat on the palate.
Yeah. But letting it go, you're just going to get sugar water. Like that's you're going to lose any flavor. It's going to be hot sugar water.
Hot garbage.
Yeah. Right? And I think there's so much going on in this beer, and it's lost in the age now.
Yeah, I know. This is my first time tasting.
And we've had Black Tuesday. That's a great beer. We've probably had the 2010 anniversary beer, but not realized it at some point. And then the White Sap we haven't had. So.
No. But yeah, it's that's a hit. It is strong. So, I mean, I have to say I'm impressed with their, no infections or anything like that. I know they've had some issues over there with that. So the fact that it's clean is awesome.
Right, because I know we ran into some 2011 Black Tuesdays or was it 2012? 2011 Black Tuesdays they weren't tasting great. So, it's nice to see that this beer sat for 2 years and still good.
Still good.
Still not infected, I guess. No. Yeah. Right.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, this is a crazy beer. I mean, what else can you say about it? It's
Did this say that? I know the other beer said you could let it go for 10 years. Did this say?
I didn't see that. Yeah. No. So at this point, for me, I'm like, I don't know if they're just making huge beers just to make huge beers.
And then at 15%, we know Black Tuesday's, 17%? And we know that.
17 or 18, yeah, it's up there.
And then when you get that high, there's at some point legal things where if you're under an alcohol percentage, there's a tax.
It's like taxing.
So this could be bigger than it actually is.
I know at least on a larger scale, they're starting to crack down on some of that stuff. So from my experience, they're actually like coming into our brewery and like
at Goose Island.
Yeah,
okay.
You need to be within 2%. Like okay. So.
But is that because
if you've noticed that Bourbon County used to be 13%, and now the label says 14.5%. Well, it was always 14.5%, but
okay.
But we just
But is that because it's an AB thing, and now these smaller breweries?
I think we're getting more scrutinized than other people, so they might have more of a leeway with that, where they can be like, all right, we'll get in a lower tax bracket on the alcohol percentage, and it's really up here. But I don't know much about how that works.
And we don't know what this beer is, so we're just saying that, when you get that high, it sometimes gets lost, and like you may go up or down, and then you're adding the barrel, and that adds something, and so.
If you add whiskey to beer, your alcohol percentage goes up.
As we saw with Paul Kahn adding whiskey to a boot.
Great video, by the way. But yeah, the brewery out in Orange County, we visited them not too long ago, and they're doing a lot of barrel aging, a lot of interesting stuff. So stay tuned to
Great
whatever
beers,
they've got going out. They've got some good stuff too. There's some lighter, more approachable stuff too. One of my favorite things that they do is the Orchard White.
And I love their Christmas beers. They're doing 12 days of Christmas, or 12 days of Christmas, and one different beer every year, and they're always fantastic. We usually feature them.
So it's basically the partridge in the pear tree type of thing. So what is it? 12 geese a-laying, 11 swimmers swimming, pipers piping. Whatever so they have one of those every year. It's pretty cool.
And we're gonna sip on this some more and see if
I will sip on it for quite a while. This is I'm gonna treat this like a glass of whiskey, actually, because I'd like to be alive later.
And so cheers. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.